Riot Games recently dropped their latest update on 2SKO, and there is a lot.
To like sort of keep you out and frustrate your character. She's like a genius inventor. She's created all these gadgets and she uses them to fight and keep you at bay and frustrate you. She's all about disruption, chaos, explosions, and just has a lot of fun doing it. But her game plan is basically to kind of fill the screen with garbage and stay one step ahead of you, frustrate you, confuse you, and yeah, take you down that way.
The hour-long update they dropped talked about gameplay changes, development plans, and as it concerns the topic of this video, they included a little Jinx overview that we're going to take a look at today. Now, although Jinx is his owner, it's been made pretty clear from both the developers and the gameplay clips that her mix-up potential is going to be quite threatening. With that being said, let's take a look at her buttons. She has her jab, her 5M, which is a charge mechanic as shown by the meter on the bottom left. More on that a bit later. Her 5H looks like it has a humongous hitbox, and it also has charge properties as indicated by the red highlight, so it's possible this could either be used as a combo filler, pressure tool, or a way to command space in the neutral without using a projectile. She also has her crouch normals with 2L, 2M, and we didn't even get to see 2H because Unconquerable was really excited to show off the sliding. Although I didn't see much application for this move in any of the gameplay clips, it's being described as a method to close a distance. So in theory, this slide and the 5H are two buttons that can be used to inch closer to your opponent, while also putting projectiles on the screen. She shares a down forward input with 3H, which is an overhead that combos on regular hit. Here's an example from earlier in the video of what that looks like, but the interesting thing that I'm noticing now is that they actually Fury dash canceled into the sequence. So possibly safe to assume that you don't get a full combo off of the overhead. Otherwise, I feel like they would have showed that in the breakdown, and of course it would be just a bit overtuned. Alright, now let's go ahead and move on to her special moves, starting off with S1. It appears to be a machine gun that functions as a combo extender, combo ender, and an anti-air projectile with back S1. If you hold the input, you can get 12 hits instead of the 6 hits it would regularly give you if you tap it. If you hold S1 and hold up, it works as a launcher, and that can go up to 20 hits. All extensions of S1, including back S1, can be canceled into her S2, which is a missile. And speaking of S2, remember that zap meter we were talking about a bit earlier? Well, it's going to play a huge part in how she maximizes her conversions, and a tool that could potentially steal back turns as well. The back S2 leaves opponents frozen in the air for a second, which is enough time to either dash and go for a follow-up, or if you'd rather set up, then you can probably confirm with S2 missile and give your opponent things to worry about on wake up instead. One of the first tools you'd probably use is flame choppers. The flame choppers is an explosive that bounces around the screen for a fixed duration unless catapulted by Jinx to get across to her opponent, which they showcase a lot of creative ways that you can utilize her forward S1 with both buttons and specials. If you hold forward S1, she tosses it across the screen, which could also be altered in different ways depending on how you utilize her kit. When the trap hits the opponent, it launches them pretty low, so you likely won't get huge follow-ups from mid-screen and further unless you're really tight with the timing. Another one of her traps is Clappy. This move is another one of those tools that you can use for setups. You can even go for cross-ups with it, and of course it interacts with everything else in her kit. This trap is a bit more durable than the choppers, and that it can only be negated by normals and not other projectiles. And it could also be buffed with the zapper when using 5M or back S2. The trap will then move quicker and freeze the opponent on hit. And of course, we can't forget the tag aspect of the game. Her forward assist is choppers that creates a stagger on block, although the explosion can be parried. And the same kind of goes for her back assist, although it travels much quicker, and we don't really know if it creates a stagger effect either. As for her super assist, she shoots a flurry of rockets. This could probably be used to check rushdown, and if someone's jumping at full screen, I'm sure they're almost bound to get hit by at least one of them. And lastly, let's talk about her supers. Her S1 super is a full screen projectile that shoots fireworks. It could be used as an anti-air, and when canceled into from a combo, it keeps them in the air for quite a while, tacking on a nice bit of damage. I initially thought that you can get a follow-up after doing this, but as you can see, they recover shortly after. Her S2 super is a multi-hitting zap that can be used in the air and omnidirectionally. Given it's a multi-hit, if you're at mid-screen or further, you would have to parry each hit in order to get a full punish. However, this super can be used to punish jumps on reaction, and as for a potential way that you could bait your opponent, the omnidirectional aspect comes in as you can jump in the air and point the super downwards. As for the final boss of Anti-Jump OS, thus comes her ultimate. In typical Jinx fashion, a rocket contraption is launched from a robot monkey that travels over to your opponent, so it doesn't have instant full screen presence like her other two supers. But in terms of this being the supreme anti-jump option, just take a look at how much damage this does on its own if you catch your opponent in the air. And that's going to do it for the Jinx overview heading into the Alpha Lab coming up in just a couple weeks now. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, be sure to subscribe with the notification bell, follow my Twitch, first link in the description, and leave a like on the video, and I will catch you guys next time.